Hey, what is going on, guys? So with it being Frame Armors Month, I want to do a couple of these videos taking a look at some of these different M.S.G option parts. Now, I know a lot of people are interested in using these oftentimes with Gunpla, but the size of them is always not very certain. It's kind of hard to tell just from pictures maybe if these are going to be better suited for 1/44 scale or 1/100 scale or what, or of course if you're using them with Frame Arms or Frame Arms Girl kits or Megami Device kits, then you're probably less so concerned with the size of them, but just so that you guys can have a good reference for some of the sizes and some of the options for some of these different weapon sets, I want to do a couple of different videos here dedicated to just some specific option sets. So here's one, for example. This is Model Sport Goods 03 folding cannons. So as you can see here, it's just this cannon where you have two different options for it, a cannon barrel or a pile driver or spike option out the front of that. You also have a magazine for that as well, so I think an optional magazine if you want to have this kind of drum style or this just box style magazine. I'm not exactly sure the wording for that, but anyway, here on the back you can also see a breakdown of the different parts here that are included for this. So you have different parts for that, different parts for that, a few different looks like a handle part there for that, and a few different connector parts. So you've got the options between those, and then here's the folding aspect where it has the name folding cannon. Obviously it does fold up like that, and then for a couple examples here, it's got it on the Hexagear bulk arms kit, so mounted onto the top as like a cannon, or just mounted onto the forearm for the pile driver sort of melee weapon. So you've got some options here for this, and so we'll try out a few of those once I've got this built up. But let's just first take a look what you get included in here. Runner A here, just a couple of parts, including handle parts, magazine parts. This is labeled RW003. Runner B, some more magazine parts, kind of the main body of the gun there as well, a couple of connector parts. And then runner C are two options for the end. As you can see, the pile driver part there, the spike is one solid piece, so that's good. You don't have to worry about a seam line on that, but you will have a seam line down the middle of the cannon barrel, so that's unfortunate, but that's just kind of the way it goes. And as you can see, all the runners here are just in this standard kind of medium gray, slightly darker gray color for the molding of them. But let me get it built up and then we'll try them out on some kits. I should also mention that on the inside of the packaging card here is the instructions. So here's where it shows you actually the instructions, how to build that, all like that. And then on the back here, another thing that I forgot to point out, the list price is down here for 800 yen. So 800 yen for the price for this. Alright, so here is the gun now in its folded up state. To unfold this, basically you're just gonna rotate this around here, around to the front, like that. It's a little bit stiff, get that down to there, and then this whole part just slides back into place and locks into place like that. So you got the camera there and then the full length of this like so. This is coming out to be about just about 11 centimeters in length now at the full extension. And this part here on the top, if you just want to keep this extended, you don't need to keep this part here on the top. You can take that off if you want. Also, of course, the ammo drum can also be replaced. You got the cool little visible bullet in there, as well as with this one too, the circular version of that. So you can put that on there. And this can also be rotated from side to side. So you can have it either on this side or rotate it around to that side like so, or just have it straight down underneath like that. And also these hard points here on the side, can rotate those out. It's maybe going to be a little bit tricky to do. I've got it here at the moment. Rotate out like that. So maybe if you want to plug this onto, like, say, plug this onto the arm of something, and you just have it like that as like an arm mounted cannon or something. You just got that hard point that folds out like that, and you get the same thing here on the other side there as well. Now, of course, instead of the cannon, if you wanted to make it with this, what they're calling a pile bunker, there on there, you can just have it like so. It doesn't really quite make much sense to have the ammo drum on there now, and actually it's just kind of weird because you can't, there's no option for just not having the ammo drum on there. I guess you could just take this off and rotate this part all the way around. Well, actually it doesn't rotate all the way around, so I thought if you just turn that upside down it would maybe look a little bit more convincing, but you actually can't. So you've got to have one of the ammo drums on here, of course, otherwise you'd have to just do some modification on that. But anyway, you've got that on there like so. And then of course we've got options for the handle. So if you didn't want to have just this handle on here, if this is not going to be handheld, you've got some options here for that. So you just pull that off. You got a hard point there underneath where that connects. You can plug on this part here instead. And that would just allow you to plug this onto like a backpack or something, or again just onto the side of the arm or something, whatever you want to do with that connection piece there. Or we've got this connection piece here like that will just fit up into there, and then this will rotate, so that can rotate up and down, or you could turn this off to the side like that, and again have this plugged onto the backpack or something like that, and you could just change the angle of that or something if you wanted. So we've got some cool options there for the connection piece for that. I kind of wish we would have had a couple more parts, just like some just simple connection parts that you could use for this, but it wouldn't be that hard to just make something if you really need it. As you can see, the thing in general just does have a good amount of hard points on here, so customizing this to fit onto different things shouldn't be all that difficult to do. Now let's try this in use on some kits. Alright, so then holding this in the hand of any frame arms kit is not going to be an issue, as the handle is definitely specifically made for being held in frame arms kit's hands, so you're not going to have any problems there. As for mounting this as like a cannon onto stuff, it's going to depend on the kit. So here, for example, I'm using the rapier. It doesn't have a whole lot of hard points on it just because of the design of it. So like plugging this onto the side of the arm or onto the backpack or something, going to be a little bit more tricky with certain designs like this. So if you're wanting to do that, of course, one easy way to do that is to just drill a hole into the side of the arm or something like that if you wanted to have this mounted onto the arm. Or, I mean, of course, just do your research and check the kit before you buy it. So like if you really wanted to get this kit and use this particular gun mounted onto the arm, just make sure you check out the kit before you buy it, and if it's got the hard points that you want, or of course just buy a drill. And then for an example with a frame arms girl kit here, we've got the Baihu, which has plenty of hard points there on it, so you can plug this onto the side of the arm, you could hand hold this, you can plug this onto her backpack there. So again, just make sure you get a kit that will work for what you want to do with the weapon, and in this case the Baihu would be one that would be very easy to customize with weapons like this one here, for example. Alright, and then this should work with just any 30-minute missions kit here as well. Just the hard points we'll just be able to plug onto there. So you could have this plugged onto the arm, something like that, but just wanted to give you guys an idea of the size of that. As you can see, it's going to be pretty large. And then once that's fully extended, as you can see, it's going to be probably about the size of the height of the kit in general, but it does make for a pretty cool cannon arm, I gotta say. And in case you were wanting to use this as a handheld weapon for 1/100 scale kits, here's just a look at the size of that. Now, if this is going to fit into the hand, it's probably not with most 1/100 scale hands very well. As you can see, it's a pretty small handle, so it should work really well with high grade kits. But with a 1/100 scale kit, you're going to need to do some sort of modification to get it to actually hold it in the hand. But it does fit the size pretty well, I think, for 1/100 scale kit. Just for the sake of trying it, here is with an HG kit. Now, see, with an HG kit, the hand fits with the handle really well, but the weight of that is going to be a lot for an HG wrist. But if you plug that in there, you can get it pretty tight. It's going to be looking a bit odd though, because it's not really holding it quite right, but again, just with some simple modification, you could get it to hold it a little bit better. The problem is just going to be with this size, as this is pretty large for a 1/44 scale kit. But hey, if that's what you're looking for, a really big giant cannon, or a big pile bunker weapon there for your 1/44 scale kit, yeah, that wrist looseness there is going to be a little bit of a problem. But yeah, just to give you guys an idea, at least you can see how that's going to look in terms of its size there with a 1/44 scale kit. So that is pretty much it for this kit here. The folding cannon is pretty cool, the options that you get for it, having it as just handheld weapon, or mounted onto the arm, or mounted onto the backpack, or just the back of different kits. It's going to work best definitely with frame arms or frame arms girls kits, but definitely can be used with some Gundam kits as well, just with a little bit of modification to be able to get it to hold it properly. But it's pretty cool, pretty nicely detailed, just being kind of simple as it is, and lots of hard points on here for customizing this using other different option parts. That should be relatively simple to do if you wanted to customize this some more. So it makes for a pretty simple base weapon here that you can do some cool stuff with using the option parts included. That's going to be it for the review, guys. If you have any other further questions or comments, of course, feel free to leave those down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.